It was the best of times last Friday night for the men's basketball team. Nationally ranked Villanova came to the Aleah Core Center, and the Wildcats left empty-handed while Temple students rushed the court not once but twice in the upset win.
But 4 days later, it might just be the worst of times as the Owls blow a double-digit lead at home, and one of their stars was benched in the process.
I just played the guys who I felt, wanted to be out there.
And there is heartbreak in Houston. The football team gives up a score in the final seconds versus the Cougars.
We'll show you how this one got away from the Owls late. For one last time with this anchor duo, OwlSports Update is live and it starts right now.
Hello and welcome to this edition of OwlSports Update. He's Erik Jesberger. I'm at Rineer. We're only 3 games into the men's basketball season, and it's been a wild ride so far.
We've already seen 2 overtime games, a major upset, along with a major disappointment, and that's where we start our show today. A winless Vanderbilt team came to town on Tuesday night searching for some good news. The Owls, on the other hand, came into this one fresh off of an upset win over 18th-ranked Villanova. And once again, fans were treated to a nail-biter of a finish. The Owls welcoming the Commodores into the Aleah Core Center for the first time since 1993. Zach Hicks lets it fly as the shot clock expires and sinks the triple, one of a season-high 6 threes for the sophomore. Vanderbilt used its muscle in the paint to keep things close, while Damian Dunn flexed all game long with a career-high 38 points to give Temple a double-digit lead. Dunn and the Owls were unable to put the Commodores away, and Vanderbilt forced overtime where the visitors scored the first 7 of 9 points. Zach Hicks, coming down to the wire, desperate in the final moments, has his shot blocked as he takes it into the paint, and the Commodores hand Temple its second overtime loss of the season, an 89-87 final.
Away from those guys, I thought they played well. I thought they played with great energy and attitude and effort, and we just didn't execute on the defensive side. I just played the guys who I felt, wanted to be out there.
Their actions to get them open shots, a lot of off-the-ball movement they had for them. It was something we didn't really see that much in our first 2 games. So we got to go back, study, and learn how we're going to be able to guard off-ball actions like that moving forward. Second half, we started a little slow. Our energy wasn't there as a collective, and we just got to learn how to pick each other up when, we're stagnant like that.
You heard Coach McKee talk about playing the guys who wanted to be out there, and that was aimed at Caleb Battle, who played only 19 points and scored only 2 points. 19 minutes and 2 points, as this quote made it to Twitter, and it caught the eye of Battle, who answered the tweet with an emoji that showed laughing. Soon after, Battle shut down his account following the mention. The loss to Vanderbilt may have dampened the excitement of an upset victory over Villanova that came just 4 days earlier.
The Wildcats came into the game ranked 16th in the country, and they left with a loss to the Owls for the first time in about 10 years. Entering this matchup, Temple had lost 7 straight against the Wildcats, but the Owls' first half performance would make you doubt it. Damian Dunn getting it going early for Temple, draining a long 3 shot over Villanova's Caleb Daniels. Dunn finished the first half with 10 points. Jamil Reynolds in the paint. He was giving the Wildcats headaches all game long. Here he is grabbing multiple offensive rebounds before finally getting the layup to fall. He would score Temple's first 6 points of the game. Villanova, however, refusing to back down. Jordan Legino with a nice mid-range jumper to keep the Wildcats close in the first half. And now, just seconds before halftime began, Eric Dixon going to work in the post, and he will get his shot to go. The halftime score is Temple 34, Villanova 29. The 5-point lead at halftime came in due in part to the Owls' plus 25% shooting from behind the arc and a near-perfect 4 trips to the free-throw line. Temple led by as many as 13 over the Wildcats in the first half. Damian Dunn led all scorers with 10 points at halftime, and Jamil Reynolds was not far behind, scoring 8 points of his own.
Temple fans in great anticipation of what could be in the final 20 minutes of play. Villanova came out of the half with an agenda, and Brennan Slater laid the hammer down on Kerr Jonkuch with the posterizer dunk. Slater finished with 9, while Caleb Daniels led the Wildcats with 19. Villanova went on a 10-point run to draw the game within 1 possession. Dunn kept the Owls in front with a pull-up jumper, and the Philadelphia Big Five Player of the Week, along with Battle, combined for 43 points. Some late free throws sealed it as the Owls fans stormed the court not once but twice as the final horn officially sounded. It was Temple slaying the Dragon, taking down Villanova 68-64.
This win over Villanova is the lone bright spot for what has been a difficult start to the season for the Owls. This win shows that the team on its best day is capable of playing against some of the best teams in the nation.
It's been over a decade, 2012 to be exact. That was the last time the Temple men's basketball team took down the Villanova Wildcats. It's just one of those moments. A close game, one that really could have gone either way in Temple's 4-point win. But this time, the Owls celebrated in front of a packed Aleah Jesberger Center.
You know, all my life I've been dreaming of these moments. So when the moments like this come, I'm never afraid.
Knocking a big top 25 team off for us at home, I think that was big for us.
Damian Dunn and Caleb Battle were the headline acts for the Owls in their win against Villanova, as both players finished with over 20 points. Even the Wildcats head coach Kyle Neptune was impressed by their efforts.
You know, credit goes to Temple. They were really good. They were tough. They were physical. They played hard. They were locked in, and you know, they just played better than us tonight. There's just no other way to say it.
Just 1 week into the season, the Owls have been less impressive in an overtime loss to Wagner, and overly impressive in this win over Villanova.
We're still a work in progress. We got some kinks to work out, but we got to keep the focus and make it more so about us. We're going to come out and we're going to play our style of basketball and have the opponents adjust to us.
And I still don't think we put our best basketball together still. I still think we didn't put a whole 40 together, but, you know, it's a good start. And when we put a whole 40 together, you know, it's going to be a scary sight.
Despite the win over Villanova, it's clear the Owls still have a lot to work on after suffering an overtime loss to Vanderbilt. They'll have their chance to do that this Friday against Rutgers.
Last time the Owls beat Villanova was almost 10 years ago, December 5th, 2012 to be exact. The Owls were improved to 6-0, led by Scooty Randall, Anthony Lee, and Caleb Wyatt, knocking the Wildcats to 4-4, defeating them 76-61. This was the 6th season for the coach, under head coach Fran Dunphy, and it was an incredible year for Temple. The Owls finished 24-10 and advanced to the second round of the NCAA tournament before losing to Indiana. As for what's next, and this Rutgers game, the Scarlet Knights come into it at 3-0 for Temple on Friday. It will be the Owls' first road trip of the year. This is a neutral site game in Connecticut.
From one basketball team to another, women's basketball in its first regular season tip-off at the Aleah Jesberger Center under head coach Diane Richardson. The Owls showed out for their first-year head coach and the first-year out, Aleah Nelson. From the corner is good with the foul. Nelson with a game-high 19 points. We'll have more on her later on in our show. Georgetown kept the game within 1 possession going into the half. The Owls, however, propelled out to as large as a 20-point lead, and Jaisha Clinton fouled on the layup and won. She finished with 12 as the Owls win the home opener, their first win of the season, 78-61.
The Owls also faced off against St. John's Wednesday night, but there was no victory this time around as Temple falls to the Red Storm 66-54. Tiarra East finished with 15 points, while Raven Peoples finished with 18 points and 17 rebounds.
The women's team features not only some of the best players in the conference, but also some of the best players in the country. Sophomore guard Tiarra East has earned success in both high school as well as the collegiate level. OwlSports Updates' Michael Mirville is at the studio set with her story. Hey, Michael.
Thank you, Eric. In high school, Tiarra East was a McDonald's All-American nominee and ranked as the 27th best guard in the country by ESPN. In her first season with the Owls, East started in 12 games, but this season she's taking on a major role. Sophomore guard Tiarra East's competitive nature propels her desire to be one of the best on the court.
I feel like she's very competitive. She gives 100% effort every time she's on the court.
East is the youngest of 3, and all 3 are college athletes, including her older brother, who plays basketball at Bradley University in Illinois.
I always used to go to my brother's basketball games. I used to watch him play.
So in middle school, I started taking it serious.
Working out with her brother paid off, as in high school, she was recognized as one of the best players in the country as a McDonald's All-American nominee. And now, at Temple, after just 2 games, she's second on the team in minutes played and third in points scored.
So I was just amazed that all the work I put in finally came to life.
Since choosing to play at North Broad, East has found a second family within her teammates, most notably with her close friendship with fellow teammate Tiarra East.
We always laughing and giggling.
If she's this, I'm that. Like, we just balance each other out. I feel like she's just very straight up with me, and she's always just making me laugh, and she's just a good friend.
While East's infectious personality off the court is loved by her teammates, her energy aids the Owls on it. East looks to continue her journey with the Owls this season to reach her second American Athletic Conference tournament. East was named to the first AAC Weekly Honor Roll this season, and the Owls will need her in their next game when ranked Villanova comes to town on Sunday. Reporting for the studio set, I am Michael Mirville. Eric and Matt, back to you.
Thanks, Michael. It's time for our first break of the day. When we come back, we'll take a look at one record-setting performance in Texas. It comes with a last-minute loss as well. OwlSports Update will be back in 90 seconds.
The Owls in Texas for their final road game of the season, taking on the Cougars, who have won 3 of the last 4 meetings. E.J. Warner began a record-setting day with an opening drive touchdown. David Martin Robinson with the reception in the end zone for his first touchdown of the season. Houston answers with a touchdown, followed by quarterback Clayton Tune putting another 6 on the board with his legs. Owls now trailing, but not for long. Stan Drayton calls the fake, and the holder, Mackenzie Morgan, he's going to play this to perfection. It's the trick play, followed up by an Edward Sadie rushing touchdown that provides Temple a first-half lead over Houston, 19-14.
The second half is underway, and Houston is looking to respond after a slow start, and Clayton Tune takes the opportunity. He takes the snap and hands it off to Stacey Sneed, who runs right up the middle into the open field before racing into the end zone for the touchdown as Houston takes the lead. The Cougars would add another touchdown on the board, but shortly thereafter, Temple on the move, and at the Houston 5-yard line, E.J. Warner finds Ahmad Anderson Jr. wide open in the end zone as the Owls make it a 1-score game. Temple adds 10 more points to take the lead, but that's when Houston applies the dagger. Clayton Tune going deep over the middle to find Matthew Golden wide open for the game-winning score, and that ends it. Temple falls to Houston by a final score of 43-36.
A rough ending for the Owls indeed, but it was a record-setting day for the team's freshman QB. Warner broke multiple school records, including most passing yards and completions in a single game. Warner's numbers against Houston surpassed Temple legend John Waller and his previous record-setting performance against Buffalo in 1968. Yes, offensively, it was a record-breaking day, but the late defensive lapse put this game in the loss column for the Owls.
Let's bring in the man who glues our show together. OwlSports Update producer and now reporter Jacob Smedley joins us from the studio set to debrief us on the Owls defense. Jacob, welcome to the show.
Thanks, guys. I want to talk about that last play, which gave Houston the lead for good on Saturday. Let's set the scene for the Owls. Up 1 with 40 seconds left. Houston has it in Temple territory, needing just a field goal. Roll it. Stop it right here. Count them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 defensive backs, 2 middle linebackers, and 4 down linemen. Keep an eye on Matthew Golden right here at the bottom of your screen, matched up against number 21, Dominic Hill. Let's play it. Houston here getting set. They just need a field goal. A few more yards to get into field goal range. Stop it here. You see the stunt up front from Varner and company, but the Cougars block it well, allowing Clayton Tune to step up in the pocket, survey the field. Let's roll it. Tune stepping up in the pocket. Stop it right here one last time. You've got 3 Owls defenders within outside of 5 yards. Hill down here switching off. Cannot believe it. Unlike the beginning of the season, the Owls defense was unable to make the crucial stop against Houston. It was the game winner. A stunner with less than a minute on the clock. Matt and Erik, back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Jacob. Temple's defense had a rough outing against the Cougars, and it won't get much easier when number 22 Cincy comes to town. The Bearcats' offense is currently averaging over 30 points per game, which is a big reason for the team's 8-2 record. Last time these two teams squared off, it resulted in a 52-3 beatdown of the Owls. Kickoff for this game is at Saturday at 4 p.m. at Lincoln Financial Field, but you can catch the game on ESPN or follow us along on Twitter at OwlSports Update. It's time for another break, but when we come back, a coaching change for the Temple men's soccer team.
We will also have a spotlight on one of our very own members of our OwlSports Update family. We'll be back after this break.
Welcome back to OwlSports Update. The season may be over. We've got some Temple men's soccer news. Athletic Director Arthur Johnson announced on Sunday that Brian Rowland's contract will not be renewed. In his 5 years with the Owls, Rowland's final record as the head coach was 24, 43, and 13. That included finishing 5 games below 500 this season. Shifting gears over to volleyball, it's been a tough season for the Owls. They're guaranteed to finish under 500 for a second consecutive year. OwlSports Update Max Green is at McGonigle Hall to preview Temple's final 2 games of the season at the home.
Thanks, guys. Following those 2 road matches, the Owls now sit at a 4-12 record, which is an improvement on their 3-17 record from last season. However, it is not a large enough improvement as the Owls will be without postseason volleyball for the second consecutive season. There is still something to play for. The Owls will have 2 more home games right here at McGonigle Hall, where they will take on USF and UCF. They will look to send the seniors off with a bang before a 2-game road trip that will see them make stops at ECU and Cincinnati. Reporting live from McGonigle Hall, I'm Max Green, OwlSports Update.
We stay pretty busy here at OwlSports Update. For Emilie Cochrane, there are no days off. OwlSports Update's Megan Wiley is live from McGonigle Hall to give us a behind-the-scenes look at Emilie's exciting life. Hey, Megan.
Thanks, Matt. By day, Cochrane is an anchor on our football show, Inside the Nest. At night, she's practicing or participating with the cheerleading squad. And early in the morning, when most of us are asleep, she's at her internship with NFL Studios. The senior is about as busy as one can get.
OwlSports Update is live and it starts right now.
You've seen her anchor on Inside the Nest and cheering on the sidelines, but Emilie Cochrane plays more than just the role you see on camera. She starts her day off at 5 a.m. with her internship at NFL Films, working for Good Morning Football in Red Zone.
My mindset is kind of eyes on the prize type of stuff. I want to make sure I'm set with everything my senior year so that going into my first job I can be fully prepared, as well as just building my resume, building my reel, making sure I have enough content for everything.
Previously starring on OwlSports Update last year, Cochrane has dreamed of being on TV her whole life and has participated in sports since she was young.
I used to watch the news 24/7 as a kid and pretend to be the anchors on the show.
With a packed schedule until graduation, she looks forward to using all of the knowledge she collected from shows outside of the studio.
When you go into this field, there are going to be some things that your boss is going to need you to do, and you're going to be like, I have this experience. I have everything down. I've done this in OwlSports Update.
Cochrane believes in order to play hard, you need to work even harder. She states that the best way to start a career in the sports broadcasting industry is to build confidence and to do as much as you can behind the scenes. You can watch Cochrane anchor on Inside the Nest every Tuesday at noon. With only 1 semester left of her senior year, Cochrane anticipates a steady schedule until graduation. With her NFL internship wrapping up around the end of the football season, she looks to continue work behind the scenes there and behind the desk at her TV3 studio. Reporting from McGonigle Hall, I'm Megan Wiley. Erik and Matt, back to you.
Thanks, Megan. Now, Emilie's been getting a lot of the spotlight here at OwlSports Update for a long time, but it's time to give some love to some other stars around North Broad. For one final time, let's get to the power play.
Matt, my power play pick this week and final one here on our show is the women's basketball team's Aleah Nelson, the senior guard with a game-high 19 points and 7 assists in the Owls' first win of the season. The first-year Owl is making an early impact in the cherry and white in 3 games, 39 points, and with buckets contested like this, as well as the assists and dimes up court she's produced, she's becoming a key influence on the Owls' success early on.
It seems like basketball is getting all the love this week. For my power pick, I'm going with Damian Dunn. The redshirt sophomore has been nothing short of prolific for the Owls. Damian scored 60 points over the last 2 games for the team, including 38 in the Owls' loss to Vanderbilt. But in my opinion, his best performance of the week came against Villanova. As the old saying goes, he has ice in his veins. And after this game, I'm going to have to believe it. He hit 4 free throws in the final seconds of the game that ultimately gave Temple the win in their upset over the Wildcats.
Great picks as always. The hardwood getting some love this week on the court from our power play picks this week. We're now up against our final break of the show. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we will salute those who make it happen right here on OwlSports Update.
We'll return in 90 seconds. Welcome back to OwlSports Update. Thanksgiving break may be here, but there's still plenty of action around Temple. On Friday, the men's basketball team travels to Connecticut to take on the 3-0 Scarlet Knights. Then on Saturday, Temple football kicks off against the nationally ranked Cincinnati Bearcats at 4 p.m., while the fencing team participates in Penn's Elite Invitational. And then on Sunday, volleyball has its final home match of the season against UCF. And later that evening, the women's basketball team tips off against Villanova at 5 p.m. Now we're in our final block of our final show with this anchor duo on the desk.
We'd like to take the moment to shout out and appreciate our incredibly talented, dedicated, and hard-working crew that have made the shows this semester all possible. Let's play it.
Fall racing means navigating 5 kilometers on curvy rivers through multiple bridges.
The Owls' first double pair of graduate Jamie White and freshman Micah Uchijima has been excellent.
For sophomore cross-country runner Liam Schott, he's had many different addresses, not just in the United States.
There are teams this fall season that hold records in the A category. Other teams might have some work to do. Maybe some office hours would be good for them.
And there is a 13th ranked Charlotte that they play at the end of the year as well.
The dance team made program history last year down in Orlando, and now they're preparing to do it again, this time in search of gold.
In women's college basketball. Now as the women's basketball team transitions into their new home at Aleah Core Center.
And it's not just our reporters, there are many behind the scenes as well.
You see these names when we roll out the credits at the end of our shows, and they are led by our 2 incredible producers, Jacob Smedley, who you saw earlier on in our show, as well as Emilie Cochrane. Let's take a look.
Let's play, let's go, let's go! Yeah!
Yeah!
Let's go!
Matt, it's our final time at the desk together, and the senior mentorship and guidance you have given me this semester, as well as our crew, is something we're forever appreciative of. You have one more semester to go here at OwlSports Update, but truly was a privilege getting a chance to share the desk with you this fall.
It's the same for me. It's been a pleasure getting to work with you and our incredible producers, Jacob and Natalie, along with the rest of our amazing crew. And I want to thank our viewers for tuning in each and every week to one of our shows. Now, for one final time on the desk, he's Erik Jesberger. I'm Matt Rineer. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. And as always, have a great day.